My name is Kendra Valenzuela, and I've been playing the piano for 16 years. I'm currently in college studying piano performance and piano pedagogy. When I was about 12 years old, I started experiencing pain in my arms every time I played the piano. It got to the point where it was interfering with my sleep because my arms hurt so bad, and even when I was at school and I hadn't been near a piano anywhere recently, my arms would just be aching. Eventually I played in an adjudication, and the adjudicator told me that if I wasn't already experiencing pain, then I would be soon, because the way I was playing the piano was destructive. She told me if I continued on the way that I was, it could destroy my arms and interfere with my everyday life. She told me I needed to use arm weight when I was playing. I was only with her for a few minutes before she needed to see the next person, and she didn't get time to properly explain what that meant, and I didn't really understand it, so I just kept playing the same way that I had been. I practiced for shorter amounts of time, and I stayed away from loud or fast pieces because I noticed that the pain was worse with those ones. It wasn't until I started college that I truly understood what arm weight is and what it does for the piano. Listen to this short passage. Now listen to the same passage, but with arm weight. Okay, so we already know using arm weights prevents injuries. What are some other things you noticed? To list a few, the tone was warmer. It sounded better when I used arm weight. It was also more accurate. I didn't miss as many notes. And I was able to play more quickly. You will always be able to play more quickly when you play with arm weight. It doesn't matter how much you practice without arm weight, you will never be able to play as fast. Playing with arm weight is just what it sounds like. Instead of pushing the key down, you allow the weight of your arm to drop it down. Playing with arm weight sounds simple enough, but it can be really difficult to intentionally disengage the muscles in your arm when you know it's going to collide with something. It can be even more difficult to transfer that to playing individual notes. A good way to practice this is to start by getting comfortable just dropping your arm on the piano. Once you've done that a few times and you're comfortable doing that, while your arm is loose and easy to move around, then you can practice dropping your arm and lifting the weight up onto one finger. When you're doing this, always start lifting the weight onto your third finger. It's easier to balance the weight on your third finger because it's centered. Once you're comfortable with this, you can practice transferring the weight to individual fingers. Playing with arm weight also allows me to play much quicker. Take this passage, for example. If we focus on my left hand, when I play it with arm weight, without arm weight, it's a lot more difficult to move quickly because I have to move here, down, and here, up. That's two movements for one note. if I move with arm weight, down doesn't count as a movement because I'm just unengaging the muscles in my arms, so it doesn't require effort. The contradictory motion slows me down a lot because I have to change directions, and it causes more tension, which can lead to injury. Tensing muscles and arms is a natural response for most students when they begin playing the piano. They're being asked to develop extreme control over tiny muscles they have hardly any use using. It's easy to feel like they don't have control, and a lot of students solve this problem by tensing their arms. It helps them feel like they have more control, when in reality it makes it more likely to miss notes, it can cause injuries, and it doesn't sound as good. Learning to play with arm weight is already a very difficult thing to do. When students are not set up well at their pianos at home, it becomes almost impossible. One of the biggest issues for beginner students with their piano set up is that they aren't able to put their feet flat on the floor. Look what happens when I try to play without my feet on the floor. So, as you can see, not having your feet on the floor can cause students to feel off balance. Here's a thing I've seen a lot of students do to try and solve this issue. They'll put their wrists on the piano like this. Kind of works for their beginner pieces. They can get the notes out, but if they have to move around the piano at all, they won't be able to do it, and it completely cuts off the arm weight. In order to help students who are unable to reach the floor feel more balanced while playing the piano, find something to put under their feet so they can feel grounded while they're playing. If they've already become accustomed to playing without being able to reach the floor, they may need to practice a few quick kind of half stand-ups to get used to the idea that their weight is going to their feet on the floor and their arm weight is going to the piano. Using arm weight when playing the piano will improve your playing in so many different aspects. Please make sure your and your children's setup at the piano is good to set yourself and your children up for success. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something new and enjoy your piano practicing.